The term agender is comprised of a prefix a, which comes from ancient Greek a, meaning not or without, and gender. The literal meaning of the term agender is thus genderless or without gender. I've always been in the category of non-binary in the trans umbrella. Now, for those who aren't aware, there is a trans umbrella. The binary, which is transmasc, transfemme, and the non-binary, which is all the sides that don't really particularly go either or. And there are a bunch of terms on them, but today we're going to talk about agender and non-binary. Now, someone, actually, Pile of Bread, my member of this lovely community, asked me to explain the difference between the two, so I wanted to do that for her. By the LGBTQIA+ wiki, non-binary is an umbrella term for all genders falling outside of the gender binary, as I've explained. Since agender is also outside the gender binary, it is often placed under the non-binary umbrella. However, the similarity outside of the binary description does not fit all non-binary people and doesn't mean all non-binary people are agender or that all agender people identify themselves as non-binary. It is a term beneath non-binary. So I think transmasc or trans umbrella, there fits that non-binary term, and then the non-binary term fits the agender. It is like a micro label. Like for some people I might just say, oh yeah, I'm non-binary, because it's easy to explain than explain what agender is, you know? Or for other people I might explain what agender is, which is feeling or having no concept of self-gender. For me, I don't see myself with either or gender physically, and internally it has always been something that I've been very confused by, because it feels like I fit in none of the boxes provided to me. And I've seen this thrown around a lot, that the people who use micro labels are just trying to act for attention, but it has genuinely made it so much harder for me to accept myself, because so many people don't know that trans is an umbrella term and it doesn't fit all boxes, of course. And not a lot of people know what agender even is, so not a lot of people are gonna understand how I feel. And I spent a lot of time debating with myself whether it's because I'm a furry that I don't really feel much gender or concept of gender or anything like that, or if I am Aryan, or if I am a person. And it's always felt so much like I don't know where I am, and I switch between these little phases of facing between non-binary, transmasc, and agender, previously being only non-binary and transmasc, or I would feel some days non-binary, some days transmasc. It would depend so much. I think it makes it really hard, because I tried neopronouns for a while. It didn't work, sadly, but it made me not be able to really experiment in that sense, and it made me kind of feel sad in a way I don't understand completely, because it felt like I'm only allowed to be in the boxes people expect me to be in, you know? I'm only allowed to do whatever people are aware of, and as on my friend group, that has been kind of hard until I got the community that I do now, where people are actually so kind and gentle with me and willing to learn. It was really hard beforehand, and with my dysphoria it's been really, really hard, but especially because you can't exactly dress androgynous and become a non-gender being. I can't just take away all the things society makes me feel, the society perceives me as one gender. I just can't take all of that away. I can't become a genderless being, even if that's what would help my dysphoria, because I wouldn't have all these bad thoughts and bad actions and bad headspaces where I don't know what would help, because outside of my friends, there aren't many ways I can actually explore and safely try and figure out a way to cope with the way that I was born. And as you guys know, the HRT isn't gonna fucking happen, which is really fucking sad. And without HRT, I don't see any other options. I've seen some people talk about DIY, and I don't know how to deal with that, and I don't know what to deal with, because like, it feels like no matter what box I'm in, I don't fit in, and it's like this little itch that goes up and down my arm and throughout my body anytime I don't feel complete. And it's like, yes, I could transition to masculine. Yes, that would help a majority of it, because the masculine, like being seen as masculine or androgynous, is better for me. But the fact that I can't, and the fact that there's always going to be a part of me that I don't understand, that seeks that genderless, non-conforming society that I wished so badly would have been a thing. It hurts, but I'm not gonna. This is a video about educating you guys, not about me ranting. I'm sorry. When it comes to the under the non-binary umbrella, there are a couple of distinctions from the binary ones, which is gender apathy, gender neutral, or gender non-conforming. You can also feel genderless, gender void, neutroids, and non-binary, which agender falls under. And there's a bunch of like terms and umbrellas. If you're want to go into specifics when it comes. Another question I remember I got off the top of my head from Pile of Bread, or another person, we were doing the members on this stream, was how did I figure out some parts of my gender journey? It's actually been very live and very online, and it's been kind of awkward to know that. People have known me as many different names. I've tried so many different names, chasing after that euphoric feeling that when you feel like you are being listened to. And I went from being transmasc to maybe gender fluid to maybe this and that, and going back and forth so much, even with my sexuality, which I should probably make another video explaining that sort of thing. And as I was looking at aromantic and asexual and all those umbrellas, I think I got onto the terms of what non-binary dating another femme would be, and all those sort of labels, like the sexuality wise, and it led me down to non-binary terms. And I began reading about it, and at first I wasn't really sure, and I still am not sure, because the best way I can describe who I am in a nutshell is just me. Hate is the best way, and the way I would love to be perceived as a gender neutral little creature that is just this, but that's not gonna happen. So what I can do best is try and give a little bit of understanding to the people who may watch this video and be like, wow, what is agender? Other notes, I think, is that there are identities under agender, like agender fluid, agender flux, gender blank, gender free, and polyagender. Now, I feel like I maybe go under agender flux, which is once gender fluctuates between agender and either feminine and masculine, which I kind of feel like is exactly what I've been talking about, but it depends very much on the person. Fun fact, in the middle of the video, Agender Pride has been observed each year on May 19th since 2017. As such, it is one of the newer LGBTQIA plus awareness things, which is really cool. I also saw someone in chat talk about how like there are